Guerdy, you never told me not to tell anyone.
Larsa, you are completely mistaken. You even made a joke about TMZ. Obviously, in confidence right now, just because I'm not sure how we're going to do it. I know, I'm just saying, you know, I want to make it clear.
What if I went to TMZ and told them I know? Just kidding.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Miami, Season 6, Episode 6. And before we get into it, let me just quickly say, these girls really are the full package. Actual drama, an actual friend group, actual wealth. We have Dr. Nicole and Anthony with their yachts and their brand new home on Fisher Island, which is stunning. I mean, I just love it. We have some actual fashions. These women can dress. The drama isn't contrived. Like, Miami is just that girl, and I am loving this season. Now, yes, I'm very aware that I'm late with this recap. It is overdue. And don't you worry, because I do plan on discussing the previous episodes as well and giving you a brief overview in this one recap, okay? So I'm going to give you guys what you've been waiting for because there is a lot that needs to be discussed, especially when it comes to Miss Larsa Pippen, because Larsa, you have tried it. And the fact that Larsa is trying to double down on what she's doing to Guerdy is disgusting. But guys, without further ado, let's just jump right on into it because you guys already know that we don't have a minute to spare. So we open up this episode right where we left it off last week with everybody at Julia's F-cancer party for Martina. And of course, we're just finding out that Lisa's going to be late because she had to call the cops on Lenny. Now, I have a lot to say about Lisa and this whole divorce with Lenny storyline because yes, while I do feel sorry for her, I do feel like everybody is wearing thin of always hearing about it. And also, Lisa, I think that you need to listen to everybody when they tell you to stop draining your new boyfriend's ear about your ex. Because I'm going to tell you right now, sis, yes, he's being patient, but that's the fastest way to run somebody off if you're always talking about what your ex did. And I also feel like, Lisa, you have this habit where if it's not what you want to hear, you get upset because you keep getting angry every time the women are giving you sound advice. Like, girl, we understand that you're having a hard time, but you might need to get a therapist and not talk to your new man about Lenny. Because again, sis, that will drive him away. But like I said, we'll talk more about Lisa later on. So Nicole says that it's a shame that Lenny's doing this and how when is enough enough? He's already left her for his mistress, but now he wants to, do this, get the police involved. Like, it's just crazy. So Julia says, well, I'm sorry to hear this, but it's time for us to start this event. Like, we can't wait for Lisa. And one thing about it, if you've been an OG Miami fan, then you know that Lisa is always late. And that's always a pet peeve of mine. It just feels like you think that your time is more important when you're always late. But anyhow, they start the event, and we all know that Julia is about to debut her opera singing, and she's been practicing these last few episodes with Adriana. And it's no shade, but Julia, in my opinion, needs to put the microphone down. I understand that she's doing this for Martina and she wants to show Martina her love, but I just said, get a real opera singer because it's been painful these last few episodes watching and listening to Julia rehearsing. I'm like, yeah, girl, singing is not in the cards for you.
No.
And if I'm really being honest, I feel like Julia is coasting this season, and I would not be surprised if this is her last season. It just feels like Julia is grasping at straws to stay on this show. And I felt that way about her last season too. I just feel like Julia would be better off as a friend of the show, not a full-time cast member. Listen, y'all, I told you guys I had a lot to say about everybody and everything this season, so I'm going to say it. I'm not holding back in this recap. Y'all wanted this recap, now here you go. So Adriana gets on the piano and now Julia gets up to sing. Everybody's taken aback. And everybody's also really touched that Julia is singing for Martina, and even Martina's really happy. Now, again, I had to mute the TV while she sang because my ears couldn't take it. And again, I love that she did this sweet thing for her wife, but I just don't need to hear it. Everybody gives Julia a standing ovation, and now we see Lisa finally arrive. And now, of course, she goes off to the side with Larsa and Alexia, and she's like, I can't believe this is still happening. She's crying. And personally, I feel like, Lisa, you might have been better off not attending, because right now it's about Julia and Martina. It's not about you. And again, that might sound harsh, but you have to realize that it can't always be about you and your issues, and that other people are dealing with things too. And I think that Lisa was not in the right state of mind to attend because of what just happened with her and Lenny. I feel like she was better off just staying home. And I'm just a really big advocate in letting everybody have their moment, and especially if someone else is going through something really traumatic as well. Like, you have to just put your drama to the side and focus on them. It feels like it's always taking the attention off of somebody else to focus on Lisa and what she's going through. So anyhow, Lisa's telling the story of what happened. She says that while she was getting ready, Lenny came in the room and she said, hey, can you please leave? I feel uncomfortable. So according to Lisa, Lenny told her that this is his house and it's his room and he'll stay wherever he wants to. So now we find out that Lenny's mother is in the hallway with her kids, and she's yelling out, I can't wait when she's out of this house, and that's why his new girl is going to be a better mom than you are, and I never liked her. And I'm like, that's just so evil. The fact that Lenny's mom is sitting up here allowing her son to treat his soon-to-be ex-wife like this, it's like, this is really crazy to me. But you know what? I'm not surprised though, because for whatever reason, Lenny's mom never saw it for Lisa. That's why you have to pray that you get some in-laws that like you, because I really don't know how I'd be able to manage that. Like, no. That's just a hot mess. The fact that Lenny's mom always hated her from jump. But anyhow, Lisa is still going on about how she got the cops involved, and she's just upset. She's like, when does this end? So at this point, everybody is sitting down. They're all gathered around Lisa, and they're all giving her advice. They're like, bottom line, Lisa, you need to move out of that house. And I agree. I feel like Lisa has this thing where she wants to win, where it's like, she was with him when they built that house, and she feels like that house belongs to her. But I feel like, girl, for your safety and your sanity, you have to let that go. I would be out of there so fast. The fact that Lenny keeps popping up, harassing her, is it even worth it to say, oh, that's my house? Who cares at that point? Your well-being and your safety matters more than you still having claim to that house. Now, mind you, while they're talking about Lisa, Guerdy is visibly irritated, and we know why, because she knows that Larsa is the one who opened her mouth and told everybody in the group that she has breast cancer. So she's livid. And we all know that in episode 5, Lisa told Guerdy, like, hey girl, I'm here for you. I received word that you're having some health issues, and I just want you to know that I got you. And Guerdy blew up on her because she was angry, because she knows that Larsa is the one who told Lisa. So everybody can pick up on the fact that Guerdy is pissed, and rightfully so, because Larsa, how dare you? And now Lisa's like, we spoke about it last night, Guerdy, and I still can't believe that this is happening to you. And now Guerdy's like, yeah, you already knew though. So of course Larsa jumps in, and Larsa, the only words that should be coming out of your mouth are, I'm sorry. You had no right to open up your mouth and tell anybody about Guerdy's health. That is not your place. You are out of line. And the fact that in episode 3, when Guerdy told you at that lunch, keep this between you and I, it's confidential, I want to tell everybody on my own time, and you sat up there and said, oh, you got it, I won't say anything. You made that stupid joke about, well, what if I called up TMZ and told them, oh, I'm just joking, I wouldn't do that. And then 6 hours later, at your party that you had for your boyfriend Marcus Jordan, you told Marisol, Alexia, Kiki, and Lisa, everybody. You are dead ass wrong, because again, sis, how dare you? That is not your place. This is not just some little harmless gossip. This is somebody's life and their health. And you don't just share things like that recklessly when the person asks you not to. And the fact that Larsa can lie with a straight face, when she was like, Guerdy, you never told me not to say anything. I said, girl, we saw what happened in episode 3. You and Guerdy went out to lunch and Guerdy said, this stays between you and I want to tell everybody on my own time, don't say anything, and you gave her your word that you would keep it quiet. So Guerdy says, Larsa, you are sadly mistaken, because I did tell you at that lunch a few weeks ago to keep your mouth shut. This is my business. Don't say anything. And it really shows that Larsa lacks emotion and that she's not all the way there, because for her to double down and say, but you were going to tell everybody at some point, right? It's like, but that's not the point. The point is, this was not your business to tell. And you know what the underlying issue is? Larsa did this on purpose because she wanted to steal Guerdy's shine. Because let's be real. When somebody has dramatic news like this about a health scare or the loss of a loved one, they are going to get the attention. And Larsa is somebody where the attention has to be on her at all times. So her delivering Guerdy's news, that's a way to take the attention off of Guerdy, because telling somebody else's special news to everybody before they get the chance to, that's a way of stealing the attention. And again, this was purposely done, because Larsa did not want Guerdy to have the spotlight where she can tell her own news. She wanted to take that away from Guerdy. That's all this was. I see right through it. Never underestimate the lengths that folks will go to get the attention off of you and to put it back on them. Larsa is very self-centered, and that's why her and Lisa get along so well, because they're very similar in that regard, where whether the news is bad or good, as long as the attention is on them, then they're fine. But Larsa, that's very evil of you to share Guerdy's cancer news. That is not your business to tell. And it was infuriating watching everybody try to defend Larsa. Well, she is coming from a good place, and don't be mad. Absolutely not. If the shoe were on the other foot, y'all would have Guerdy's head if she exposed your news before you got to tell everybody. This is not right. If somebody shares with you about their health issues, you better keep that confidential. I guess it really hits home because when we found out that my dad had cancer, he didn't want anybody to know. And it wasn't until things were getting really dire that we were like, Dad, you have to start telling people. And yes, he did eventually tell everybody, but we had to respect his wishes and not say anything to anybody within that 7-month time frame. So you have to be respectful, even if you do agree or don't agree. If they tell you don't say anything, you need to keep your mouth shut. Larsa, you are out of line. And it's really annoying how you just refuse to apologize. The fact that Larsa is angry at Guerdy is just mind-boggling. Like, girl, what planet are you living on? You are in the wrong. I'm just getting more and more heated as we go on about this because Larsa is really out of her mind. And then when Larsa said, but I did it from a place of love. No, you did not, because if you really did love Guerdy, you would not tell her business like this. You would allow her to tell everybody on her own time. Guerdy was keeping her foot on Larsa's neck. She said, at the end of the day, Larsa, I told you verbatim, do not say anything. You did. Who are you to tell my personal business about my health? Then she goes on to call Larsa a liar. So of course, Larsa, being the coward that she is, she storms off and she's like, I'm not a liar. Guerdy's crazy. Lisa, you really pissed me off saying that Guerdy and Larsa are both going at it. I said, girl, shut up. Because the way you've been going on and on about this divorce and you're wearing all of us out. And also, sis, let's not forget how Larsa clocked you last season and had you crying. But now all of a sudden you're team Larsa? I was just too done. At the end of the day, if any one of you guys were dealing with a health issue and you told somebody not to say anything and they told everybody in the group, you would be pissed off. And Alexia, it's also really rich coming from you that you want to defend Larsa and say that she was just trying to, tell everybody from a place of love. Let me get you together quickly. Because the way Alexia will scream and holler, the way she was carrying on because Adriana made that silly analogy last season about Frankie's accident, she wanted Adriana's head. But you want to tell this woman that it's not that deep because Larsa revealed her cancer status to everybody when she told her to keep quiet? It's the double standards for me. I just can't stand how self-centered a lot of these women are, and the fact that they want to act like Guerdy is the bad guy for being upset. I'm on Guerdy's side because Guerdy is actually being a bit too nice, in my opinion, because the way I would have ripped everybody in that group a new asshole. And Dr. Nicole, I love you down, but sis, I'm going to need you to be a better friend and not try to defend Larsa. I know that you and Larsa are cool right now, but it just feels like if Guerdy is your BFF, then I'm going to need you to check everybody and say, no, what y'all did was wrong. Because when Guerdy got up to leave and then Larsa came back to sit down and Nicole was like, I understand why Guerdy's upset, but it was done from a place of love, even though it was done poorly. And I said, Dr. Nicole, that's my issue with you because you're way too lenient. You're just way too nice about things. Because no, that was not done from a place of love. It was done from a place of, let me get the attention off of Guerdy and get it on me by blabbing her business before she can tell anybody else. That's why that was done. It was not done from a place of love. If that were my friend, I would have left with Guerdy and I would have cursed them out too. Like, you have my friend effed up. That's what a friend does, in my opinion. And again, Dr. Nicole, it's no shade. I met you at BravoCon. You were very sweet. But I just feel like I'm gonna need you to step up and do a bit more because Larsa is dead ass wrong. So now when we jump to the next scene, we see Lisa, Larsa, and Adriana looking at condos for Lisa because they want Lisa out of that house and they want her to be at peace. So the condo is gorgeous. I think it was 5,000 square feet. There's this gorgeous terrace. You have a beautiful view of Miami. And it was going for $6.9 million. Now I see that Lisa is living her best life because she now has a gorgeous place. I think it's $32,000 a month. And she has Jody paying for it. I said, I know that's right.
Bling, bling, bling. Bitches is mad.
And Lisa, another reason why you need to stop talking about Lenny, because if Jody is paying for your rent for your new place, you can't afford to let him walk away. Like, yes, you do make great money being on Bravo. I think they said your check is over $500,000 a season, and that's great, but it's not that kind of money that can sustain you and your lifestyle, especially if Lenny does leave you penniless because of the prenup that you signed. So as they're viewing the condo, Larsa's asking Lisa about the budget. Lisa says that she actually has no idea about the budget. And now Larsa says, I want you to have the best, but I do want you to have something that's affordable because I don't know if you can afford this. Now, I feel like Lisa is somebody who was with a rich man for 15 years and really wasn't thinking clearly. Not only did she sign that horrible prenup where she gets nothing, but it just feels like she didn't sock any money away in case something like this did happen. I feel like Lisa is somebody who, she just wasn't smart. And we do see Lisa admit in these latest episodes that she really wasn't thinking. And that's why she's in the boat that she's in now. So now they change gears in the conversation. And Larsa brings up the other night at Julia's event. And she was like, I was trying to apologize to Guerdy and she got mad at me. Like, what the F was that? I said, Larsa, do you hear yourself? At no point did you ever say, Guerdy, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Please forgive me and please accept my apology. You doubled down on why you blabbed to the group about her business. Not once did we hear an I'm sorry come out of your mouth. So that's a bold-faced lie, and it's anything to not take accountability. I think that Larsa is just somebody who, if it's not about her, she does not care. That is a very vapid woman with just no personality, and she really does not care about anybody else but herself. Because for her to have the audacity and the gall to say that she can't believe that Guerdy was mad at her, girl, are you serious? So Adriana jumps in to defend Guerdy and she says, well, Larsa, Guerdy wanted to tell her news to everybody on her own time. She didn't want anybody else speaking for her. So now Larsa's like, well, I mean, like I said, she was going to tell everybody at some point, so I don't understand why she's upset with me. And now Adriana points out that once again, Larsa is making this all about herself. And I just said, you can't reason with people like Larsa. Larsa is obviously a narcissist, very self-absorbed, and just obnoxious. And it's never her fault. It's always somebody else's fault. And she's just always right. So people like that, you have to just back up and say, you know what, I'm good. Because Larsa's never going to take any ownership for anything. And it's very disturbing. So now Lisa interjects and she says, well, Larsa, how do you feel about Guerdy going forward? Because I want to invite everybody on a girls' trip to Palm Beach next weekend, and Guerdy's going to be there. So we learned that Lisa has this business deal with Aroma 360 for a scent line. And I said, thank God, because the way Lisa needs all the jobs and endorsements right now with this divorce going on, I'm glad that she's finally getting some work. And we find out that her business deal with Aroma 360, the meetings take place in Palm Beach, and she wants to invite everybody to go with her. So she says that her friend owns this gorgeous mansion in Palm Beach, and she wants them all to stay with her there, and she can't wait. So Larsa's like, look, regardless of how me and Guerdy are doing, that sounds cool, I want to go, but can I bring Marcus? So Lisa's like, girl, it's a girls' trip. And I can't stand women who act like they're going to die if they're away from their man for more than a day. It is ridiculous. And can we talk about something else for a quick minute? Larsa is being so obnoxious with this new relationship because I thought it was really messed up in the last episode, episode 5, when Kiki was expressing how much she misses her friend, and she was like, me and Larsa used to go out all the time together, and now she's with Marcus and I don't see her, I feel dropped. And when Kiki voiced her feelings about it to Larsa, and Larsa was like, look, Kiki, I did the whole single thing 5 years after my divorce, like, I'm with the man now, it is what it is, if you want to see me, then get a man yourself. And it's like, she's just so dismissive. Anytime somebody tells her something that she doesn't want to hear, she gets so angry. And she's just so mean. Like, how do you say that to your friend? But Kiki, I hope you know that Larsa is not your friend. Larsa does not care. And you were only a placeholder friendship just because she didn't have a man at the time. But now that she has a man, it's shout out to everybody, I have fun.
Oh! Shout out to everybody, I have fun. I gotta be good.
And now she doesn't care about how you feel. But I thought that was so messed up. And Larsa, if you and Marcus don't make it, don't come crawling back to Kiki, because that's usually what happens. And when Larsa threw that welcome home party for Marcus in episode 3, and he had only been away for 5 days, it's like, are you all right? Larsa, you were in a marriage for what, 24, 25 years? Act like you've had a man before. Like, it's just really weird behavior. Larsa is definitely one of those women where she's a girl's girl until a man comes around and then she's not. That's why I always say that being a girl's girl and women's empowerment, that's only online, because in real life, it's a different story. And Larsa is showing us that clearly. And is anybody listening to Larsa and Marcus's podcast? Because I know I'm not. Now, another quick side note, Marcus Jordan is actually very nice. He was at BravoCon. He was right by her side. We talked for a little bit, very personable, very friendly, and he was happy to be there. So now we jump on over to Nicole, Alexia, and Julia meeting up at a sunflower farm. And can we just talk about one thing for a minute? I think it is so funny that Dr. Nicole and Alexia are so close now, because we all know that in seasons 4 and 5, Alexia was so awful to Nicole. And can we also talk about Alexia and this rebrand? Because the way Alexia got torn up last season because her behavior was so nasty, and now she's trying to act like, oh, I'm just so nice now and I'm working on myself and I want to be a better person. I think it's just so hilarious. You're only doing it because, again, the fans ate you up for your behavior because you were just so rude to Dr. Nicole and that jealousy really jumped out. Now, I also find it funny how you and Todd are now kissing Nicole and Anthony's asses because you and Todd are up there with some money problems and you know that Anthony got some real money and your husband, Todd, probably needs a job now. Because him giving Anthony that 9-minute apology and sending him flowers and chocolates, then you guys going on a double date with Anthony and Nicole, I say, yeah, that money's running out now, so now it's time to kiss some ass with the folks who actually have it like that. How those tables turn. But I say all that to say, I'm not really here for Alexia and this rebrand because she's full of it. So they finish gathering sunflowers, and now they sit down to have some smoothies and just catch up. So they bring up how beautiful Julia's event was. Nicole says that she was blown away by Julia's singing. I said, yeah, girl, I was blown away too. I was blown away so bad I had to put the TV on mute because that's how bad my ears were ringing listening to her. But it was a very nice party, I'll give her that. And it is the thought that counts. But Julia, going forward, we don't need to hear you sing anymore. So Alexia co-signs that it was a beautiful night. She felt so at peace, but she also felt bad for Lisa, and she thought that Lisa was better off staying home. And like I said earlier on, I think that Lisa was better off staying home because she low-key brought the mood down. And like I've said, it's not always about you and your problems. That night was about Julia honoring Martina because Martina has gone through hell and back and now she's on the other side. The night got overshadowed by everybody else's drama and not focusing on Julia and Martina. Now, it was so funny because while they're talking about Lisa, Lisa calls Alexia at that exact moment. So Alexia's like, speak of the devil, we were just talking about you. I'm here with Nicole and Julia. And Lisa says, oh, great. I was calling to invite you guys on a girls' trip to Palm Beach next weekend. Are you down? So they're all like, sounds good to me. I can't wait. And then Alexia says, now, Lisa, promise me one thing, that when we're in Palm Beach, we're going to have fun and that you're not going to talk about Lenny. And I said exactly this. Because every time Lisa is in a group setting, she goes right back to talking about her issues with Lenny, what Lenny did, and it's like folks can only hear so much. So now we see a parallel scene with Kiki, Guerdy, and Marisol meeting up for drinks, and of course they're talking about Julia's event and how Guerdy is still angry at Larsa. So Guerdy says that she's still pissed at what happened at Julia's event, and she just wants Larsa to apologize to her and just take ownership. Kiki agrees, and she's like, what Larsa did wasn't right, and she does owe Guerdy an apology. I really felt bad for Guerdy when she started crying, and she was like, I was angry at her last night, but now I'm just disgusted by her. And they were like, Guerdy, don't cry. Like, don't give your energy to this. Just be happy. Focus on the present. And I said, but I understand that though, because that's a very traumatic thing. And if you consider somebody your friend and you tell them, please don't say anything, this isn't just some petty gossip. This is somebody's health. This is actually a life or death situation. And she trusted that Larsa would not say anything, and Larsa broke her trust. Now, I know that Guerdy said that she was testing Larsa, but at the end of the day, whether she was testing her or not, that has to hurt. That's a slap in the face at the fact that Larsa could not just keep her mouth shut and that she essentially stole Guerdy's moment. Because that's what it is. This was Guerdy's moment to tell everybody when she wanted to tell them. And unfortunately, Larsa took the wind out of her sails by telling everybody before she got the chance to. I just hope at this reunion that Larsa apologizes because I'm just still in shock at how she can think that what she's doing is okay. Now, I thought this short scene with Alexia and Julia going shopping for the trip was a bit weird because they're laughing, having a good time, but we see Julia making a joke about how she can't wait to be Alexia's roommate on the girls' trip. Now, we all know that Alexia and Marisol always room together. That's always been their thing ever since Miami has been on air. Every time they've gone away, they are always together. We even saw them share a room in Thailand when they were on Ultimate Girls Trip. So that's their thing, and I don't know why Julia would even expect to room with Alexia. I thought that was very weird. But she keeps making a joke about it, and Alexia says, oh, well, I have to ask my husband how he feels about that. So Julia's kind of upset by that. And I'm just like, but again, why are you surprised, Julia? Because you and Alexia are just now getting close. So why would you expect to go from 0 to 100 where all of a sudden you be rooming with Alexia? That's just silly. Also, we know that Adriana and Marisol are still on the outs. So if you roomed with Alexia, then that would mean that Adriana and Marisol would be rooming together, and we know that that's not happening. So again, I was confused as to why Julia kept joking around like that, and I just said, girl, are you okay? Because again, you and Alexia are just now getting close, so why would you even think that you and Alexia are going to be rooming together on this girls' trip? So now it's the day of the girls' trip to Palm Beach, and before they all leave, they're all meeting up at Jody's house, and we know that Jody is Lisa's boyfriend. And so they're all meeting up at his house, and they're all talking, having fun. Larsa says that her plan this weekend is to avoid Guerdy. And I said, you just sound nuts because you're the one in the wrong. If anything, you need to be trying to kiss up to Guerdy and trying to apologize. I just don't understand the mentality of you do people wrong and then you're upset when they're angry at you. How does that work? A lot of these women on these shows have a very weird logic. There's no other way to say it. Larsa is insufferable. So everybody's there, and now it's time for them to drive to Palm Beach. And mind you, everybody is in a separate Rolls Royce. So we have Nicole, Kiki, and Adriana in one Rolls Royce. Then we have Julia, Larsa, and Alexia in another Rolls Royce. And now we have Lisa, Guerdy, and Marisol in the third Rolls Royce on their way to Palm Beach. Now, personally, I would not have wanted to be in the Rolls Royce with Lisa because you already know that Lisa spent the entire drive talking about Lenny and all their issues. And I said, girl, nobody wants to hear this for the next hour and a half. Please, it's enough already. And I loved when Guerdy and Marisol both said, Lisa, we love you, but we think that you need to stop talking about your issues with Lenny with your new man because you are going to drive that man away. And then Lisa's getting upset, rolling her eyes, saying, you guys are so negative. Don't tell me what to say. Don't judge me. And it's like, girl, they're not judging you. They're trying to help you.
Okay, this is very negative.
No, it's not, Lisa. It's very positive. You have to take it as positive.
No.
It's none of their business. They tell their husbands or their boyfriends everything too. I mean, who are they to judge me?
You're the one crying to them every damn day about this, not the other way around. So the least you could do is just listen to them. And I know people can say, oh, well, Guerdy and Marisol were offering unsolicited advice. And while that might be so, at some point, folks will offer advice if you keep talking about the same issue day in and day out. It's the same thing that happened this last season of OC where Gina got mad at Heather because Heather said, look, I understand that you're upset about your divorce, but if you don't want to run your man off, then stop talking about your ex-husband to him. He's your boyfriend, not your therapist. And the way I was brought up, I was told the same thing. I honestly feel like Lisa is somebody who is deathly afraid of being single for more than 5 minutes. Because if you ask me, I feel like she jumped into this relationship too soon. I mean, I understand that she is in love with Jody, but it's clear that she still is not over what happened to her with Lenny leaving her. Like, she should be in therapy trying to process this and working on herself before jumping into a new relationship. Listen, that's just me. Lisa's good and grown. She can do what she wants to do. But I do feel like she jumped into this relationship with Jody way too soon. Just my thoughts. And yes, while Jody seems sweet and supportive now, there's only so much somebody can take. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jody does end up leaving because this is just too much. Who wants to hear about somebody's ex and all their issues day in and day out? Nobody. So the ladies finally arrive in Palm Beach, and I love Palm Beach. I have family in Palm Beach. I was just there this summer. Gorgeous, okay? This is a Palm Beach Stan account, honey, all right? Shout out to Worth Avenue. But anyhow, they arrived to the house. The house is stunning. Adriana had me screaming with that quick shade. She was like, Palm Beach is old money, it's subdued, it's silent luxury, and Miami is flashy, it's new money, and I hope that these women can behave themselves. Now, may I just add this? While Adriana might cut up on the show, in real life, she is so friendly and just down to earth and sweet because at BravoCon, we talked for a cute 2 minutes. She was lovely. She just has a very appreciative spirit. She kept saying, thank you so much for watching the show. It means a lot. We wouldn't be here without your support. Like, she's just very sweet, very lovely, very gracious. And you could tell that she really is so happy that they're back on air. And it just really shows she spoke to everybody because I told you about a few of these housewives, rude, weren't speaking, but Adriana, she took the time to speak to everybody who came up to her, took a picture, just very sweet. So Adriana's going to always hold a special place right here because lovely. Because again, some of these women get big heads and it's like, you do know if we all stop watching as a collective, your show will be canceled, right? And you won't be at BravoCon next year. So you need to start being a bit nicer to the folks who support you. Kiki was so funny. She said, who owns this home? Is he single? Please hook a sister up. I said, I know that's right. And I said, and Kiki, when you find that information out, let me know if he has a brother. So Lisa's giving them the itinerary. She says that we're going to have a pool party one of the days. And then she says that everybody can pick their rooms, but her and Larsa are going to be sharing the primary room, but everybody else can have the other rooms. So we see Nicole and Guerdy in their room, Alexia and Marisol, and now we get to Adriana and Julia in their room. So as they're unpacking, Julia's upset. She says that she can't believe that Alexia changed her mind about rooming with her and is now rooming with Marisol. And I said, but Julia, when you guys were at the store the other day, Alexia never confirmed that she was going to room with you. And then when you said, is it because I'm lesbian? Because she thinks that gay people can't control themselves, that's why she doesn't want to room with me? I guess the only reason why Julia might have felt a way about Alexia not rooming with her because she made that comment about she has to ask permission from Todd. I guess that sort of implies something else, but I guess I'm not seeing it that way because it is on record that Alexia and Marisol always share a room together and they always share a bed. So that's the only reason why I feel like she didn't mean it in a homophobic way. But I guess Alexia should have just said, look, Julia, I always room with Marisol. That's just how it is. So I'm going to have to pass on us being roommates for the girls' trip. I guess had Alexia not added that comment about, well, I have to ask Todd how he feels about that, then maybe Julia wouldn't have felt a way about it. I don't know, y'all. Let me know what you guys thought, but I was a bit confused because I said, once again, we know that the history between Alexia and Marisol, they are always together, especially on vacation. So that's why I didn't view it as her being homophobic against Julia. But y'all, that's where the episode ends. That was my Miami recap. And I am looking forward to the rest of the season unfolding because I know it's going to be even more drama and I can't wait. But Miami is definitely giving what the other girls were supposed to have gave. I'm here for it. And as always, Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.